Hey, basketball fans, welcome back to Tips and Streams, your go-to spot for the hottest NBA regular season predictions. I'm Kokan, and I'm here to break down today's matchups and give you the edge you need to make the best bets. Before we dive in, make sure you hit that subscribe button and like this video. Your support means the world to us. Remember, our channel has no sponsors and relies solely on the love and support of viewers like you. Even a small donation by pressing the thanks button under the video helps us keep bringing you top-notch content every day. Don't forget to share this video with your friends and fellow basketball enthusiasts. And we love hearing from you, so drop a comment below and let us know what you want to see in our forecasts. Your feedback helps us improve and bring you the content you crave. Let's jump right into today's NBA predictions. We've got some exciting games lined up, so stay tuned and let's get that winning streak going. Today we have predictions for 5 NBA games. The first prediction for today is for a game between the Denver Nuggets and Dallas Mavericks. All right, we've got the Denver Nuggets rolling into Dallas to take on the Mavericks, and let me tell you, this is shaping up to be a fascinating matchup despite both squads dealing with some major injury woes. These teams have already faced off twice this season, and it's been tight both times. Denver took the first game 122-120, and then Dallas returned the favor, squeaking out a 123-120 win. These two always deliver, and even though some big names are sidelined, I expect another close one. Now, here's the thing with the Nuggets. They've been cooking lately. Nikola Jokic? Absolute maestro. He's averaging 31.6 points, 13 boards, and just shy of a triple-double with 9.9 dimes per game. That kind of production is just absurd. At his efficiency, 55.6% from the floor, and it's like watching an artist paint on the hardwood. Jamal Murray has been a solid Robin to Jokic's Batman, but he's questionable with some knee soreness. That's worth keeping an eye on. Michael Porter Jr.? Man, he's been on point, dropping 19 a night on 52% shooting. And then there's Russell Westbrook. Say what you want about his style, but he's settling in nicely with 12.9 points per game and providing that spark off the bench. Denver's Achilles heel? Free throws. They're sitting at 27th in the league in free throw percentage, and let's be real, that cost them the last game against Dallas. They've also had a tendency to get off to slow starts, which isn't a recipe for success, especially on the road. If they can tighten up their defense early and knock down those freebies, they've got a solid shot to cover the spread. On the other side, Dallas is scrappy, but missing Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving is a tough blow. Without those two, the offense just doesn't have that same punch. Still, they found ways to stay in games, thanks to guys like Jaden Hardy, PJ Washington, and Derek Lively two-stepping up. Hardy just dropped 25, Washington added 23, and Lively chipped in 21 in their last outing. That kind of balanced production is exactly what they need to stay competitive, especially against a team like Denver. The Mavs defense has been their calling card. They're top 5 in blocked shots, and their rim protection has been stellar. But here's the challenge. How do you slow down Jokic? The dude can hurt you in so many ways. Dallas needs to throw everything they've got at him and hope the rest of the Nuggets don't catch fire. Momentum-wise, Denver's rolling. They've won 6 of their last 8 and covered the spread in all those wins. Even when Jokic sat out against Boston, they bounced back with back-to-back blowout wins over the Clippers and Nets. This is the best basketball they've played all season. Dallas, meanwhile, has been hot and cold. They did grab 2 wins after a rough 5-game skid, but let's face it, they're still figuring out how to play without their 2 stars. So, how do we see this one playing out? Honestly, it's hard to go against Denver right now. They've got the best player on the floor in Jokic, a supporting cast that's clicking, and all the momentum in their favor. Dallas might hang around for a bit, especially if they can knock down some threes and stay aggressive on defense. But over 48 minutes, I just don't see them having enough firepower to keep up. Bottom line, I'm riding with the Nuggets to win and cover. They've been playing some of their best ball lately, and with Dallas missing their big guns, it feels like a great spot for Denver to keep their streak alive. Let's lock it in.
Welcome to BetUS, Sportsbook and Casino, your ultimate hub for secure and thrilling sports betting and casino gaming. BetUS is one of the oldest and most reliable online sportsbooks in the U.S., serving millions of clients all over the globe each month. BetUS, trusted for over 30 years, offers huge welcome bonuses, countless betting options, and many deposit and payout methods. Depositing funds is a breeze and safe, with a minimum deposit of just $10. Payouts are fast and hassle-free, beginning at only $50. Choose from various payout options like MoneyGram, couriered check, cryptocurrency, or bank wire. Signing up is quick and easy. For signing up, you can use the link in the description and enjoy a generous 125% welcome bonus of up to $3,000. By signing up using the link in the description, you'll also support us as we earn a small commission from your registration at BetUS. Thank you for supporting us. Join now and start winning.
The second prediction for today is for a game between the Milwaukee Bucks and New York Knicks. Here's my take on this Sunday's showdown between the New York Knicks and Milwaukee Bucks at Madison Square Garden. It's the kind of game that could be a turning point for either squad. The Knicks, holding a 25-14 record, are stumbling right now, dropping 4 of their last 5. That blowout against the Thunder was just hard to watch. They couldn't hit water if they fell out of a boat, shooting a woeful 4 for 31 from deep. You're not winning in this league with numbers like that, especially not against a squad like the Bucks, who are firing on all cylinders right now. Milwaukee's 5 is the polar opposite. After a rocky start that had fans side-eyeing their coach and front office, the Bucks have flipped the script. They've strung together 3 straight wins, bagged the NBA Cup, and look like they've found their mojo. Giannis is doing MVP things as usual. His 41-point, 14-rebound clinic against Orlando was just another day in the life for the Greek freak. And Damian Lillard? He's finally looking like the Dame time we've been waiting for in Milwaukee. Toss in Chris Middleton, who's still shaking off the rust from injuries, but is steady as ever, and this Bucks team is starting to hum. But don't count out the Knicks. This is a team built on toughness, and they've got the horses to make this a slugfest. Karl-Anthony Towns is putting up monster numbers, averaging over 25 points and nearly 14 rebounds a night. Jalen Brunson might not be in the MVP conversation anymore, but he's still the engine that drives this team, capable of taking over when it matters most. Then you've got guys like Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, and Josh Hart bringing the defensive grind. These Knicks know how to roll up their sleeves and scrap. What makes this matchup so compelling is the clash of styles. The Bucks are scorching teams from downtown, shooting a jaw-dropping 45% from 3 during their win streak. That kind of firepower can bury opponents before they know what hit them. But their defense? Let's just say it's not exactly their calling card right now. That's where the Knicks can pounce. Thibodeau's crew lives for grinding games out and making life miserable for the opposition. If they can turn this into a physical, low-scoring brawl, they've got a real shot. And let's not forget the Garden effect. MSG has its own magic, and the Knicks thrive on it. With a solid 12-6 record at home, they know how to feed off their crowd. Plus, these early games have historically been tricky for the Bucks. If the Knicks can catch them napping, this could get interesting. I get it, most folks are riding with the Bucks here, and why wouldn't they? They're red hot and Giannis is unstoppable. But I'm leaning Knicks. Towns and Brunson are due for big nights, and with the Garden rocking, I believe they'll rise to the occasion. It won't be flashy, it'll be gritty, tough, and down to the wire. That's Knicks basketball, and I think it'll be enough to get it done. Let's see if the Garden magic shows up again. Before we move on, I have a quick favor to ask. If you're enjoying the content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Subscribing might seem like a small action, but it actually makes a big impact for us. Plus, it's completely free for you. Have you clicked that subscribe button? Awesome, thank you so much for your support. Now let's dive back into the video. The third prediction for today is for a game between the Sacramento Kings and Chicago Bulls. The Kings are rolling into Chicago with a lot of momentum, and honestly, it's hard not to notice the difference since they made that coaching change. I'll admit, I was one of those people doubting Sacramento earlier this season. They looked lost, disorganized, and just plain bad. But man, firing Mike Brown might have been the spark they needed. Under Doug Christie, this team is locked in. 6 wins in a row and 5 covers in their last 6 games? That's no joke. They're coming off a statement win against the Celtics in Boston. Yeah, Boston, where they didn't just win, they dominated, 114-97. Nobody saw that coming, especially with the Kings listed as 11.5-point underdogs. That's the kind of result that makes you sit up and take notice. Sabonis has been an absolute monster. His game against Boston was ridiculous. 23 points and 28 boards. 28 boards. That's next-level dominance. He's been controlling the paint, setting up teammates, and just playing winning basketball. And let's not forget De'Aaron Fox, who's the engine for this team. He's questionable for this game, which is a big deal because when he's on the floor, their offense is tough to stop. The Kings love to push the pace, get out in transition, and attack in the open court. When Fox is flying down the lane and Sabonis is orchestrating from the high post, this team can flat out score. Right now, they're ranked 8th in offensive rating, and they've got one of the most dangerous handoff games in the league. That's their bread and butter, and it's hard to defend when they're clicking. On the flip side, Chicago's trying to stay relevant, but let's be real, they've been inconsistent. Sure, they just blew out the Wizards by 33, but come on, the Wizards aren't exactly a defensive powerhouse. Zach LaVine dropped 33 in that game, and Vucevic added 23, which is great, but this team has bigger problems. Their defense just isn't there. They rank near the bottom of the league in defensive rating, and they're not pressuring the ball or forcing turnovers. It's hard to win consistently when you're giving up easy buckets every night. What's interesting with the Bulls is that they're kind of in this limbo. Are they rebuilding? Are they trying to compete? Nobody seems to know, and that includes their front office. There's always talk about trading LaVine, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they eventually pull the trigger. He's a talented scorer, no doubt, but his game doesn't always mesh with winning basketball. Vucevic, on the other hand, has been steady, putting up close to 20 and 10 every night, but it's just not enough. This roster needs more, and unless they make some big changes, they're going to keep hovering around .500. This game is going to come down to a couple of key things. First, can the Bulls slow down Sabonis? If they let him dominate the boards like he did against Boston, it's going to be a long night. And second, how do they handle Sacramento's pace? The Kings love to run, and Chicago's defense isn't exactly built to stop that. If Fox plays, it's going to be even tougher for the Bulls to keep up. Personally, I'm riding with Sacramento here. They've got the momentum, they're playing with confidence, and they've shown they can win on the road, even in tough environments. Beating the Celtics in Boston is no small feat, and that tells me this team is locked in. The Bulls just don't have the defensive discipline to stop what the Kings are doing right now. I'm taking Sacramento to cover the 2.5-point spread, and I wouldn't be surprised if they control this game from start to finish. As for the total, I see this being a high-scoring game, but I don't think it goes over 241.5. Sacramento's defense has been sneaky good lately, and I expect that to be the difference. The fourth prediction for today is for a game between the Indiana Pacers and Cleveland Cavaliers. Cleveland and Indiana are about to lock horns for the first time this season, and I can't wait to see how this one plays out. Both teams are rolling right now, so this feels like the perfect Sunday showdown. The Pacers are on a heater, stringing together 5 straight wins, and it's clear they've found their groove after a rocky start. Meanwhile, the Cavs are nearly untouchable at home, rocking a ridiculous 19-1 record at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. Talk about a clash of titans. Indiana has been cooking lately, and it's all about balance. They're not just winning, they're doing it in style, shooting over 50% in 4 of their last 5 games. Tyrese Halliburton has shaken off his early season struggles and is back to orchestrating the offense like a maestro. He's dishing out almost 9 assists per game and finding his stroke again. Pascal Siakam is doing his thing, getting buckets and cleaning the glass, while Miles Turner and Benedict Mathurin have been steady contributors. But what really stands out is their defense. They've been locking down the perimeter, holding opponents to just 30% from deep over the last 3 games. If they can keep that up, they've got a real shot to hang with Cleveland. The Pacers' key to this game will be controlling the boards and keeping Cleveland's bigs in check. Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley are a problem down low, and if they're allowed to feast on second-chance opportunities, it could be a long night for Indiana. Halliburton needs to be at his best, using his size to exploit Darius Garland and create open looks for his teammates. If Siakam and Turner can hold their own against Cleveland's Twin Towers, this one could get interesting. On the other hand, the Cavaliers are flexing some serious muscle right now. They're riding a 12-game winning streak and have been steamrolling teams during that run, winning by an average of 14 points. Donovan Mitchell is the spark, and after sitting out their last game for some much-needed rest, he should be fresh and ready to put on a show. Garland has been lights out too, and Mobley and Allen are doing what they do best, dominating the paint and finishing at a crazy efficient clip. This team is dangerous because they don't beat themselves. They're one of the best in the league at taking care of the ball, and their offensive execution is top-notch. Cleveland's only real weakness is their rebounding, which is kind of surprising given their size. They're middle of the pack in that department, and if Indiana can exploit that, it might tilt the scales in their favor. The Pacers don't have much to lose in this one, and sometimes that's when teams are the most dangerous. Cleveland, on the other hand, is carrying the weight of a 12-game streak and the expectation to keep it rolling. I'm feeling good about Indiana covering the spread in this one. They're rolling right now, playing loose and confident, and their perimeter defense has been a game-changer lately. Cleveland's the clear favorite. They've been a fortress at home, but the Pacers are no pushovers. This squad knows how to scrap, and they've got the pieces to give the Cavs some serious headaches. Halliburton's been in his bag lately, dropping dimes and finding his groove, and with plus 320 on the money line, taking a shot on Indy feels like a smart move for anyone willing to take the risk. I'm placing my bet on the Pacers on the money line, but advise you to bet on Indiana to cover the 9.5-point spread. Sure, Cleveland might end up grinding this one out, but don't be shocked if Indiana pushes them to the edge. This game's going to be a dogfight, and I can't wait to see how it plays out. The fifth prediction for today is for a game between the Philadelphia 76ers and Orlando Magic. The Orlando Magic and Philadelphia 76ers are squaring off on Sunday at the Kia Center, and I can't help but feel this one's going to be all about defense and grit. The Magic come in with a solid 22-18 record, but what really jumps out is their defense. These guys are absolutely locking teams down, holding opponents to just 103.3 points a night. That's elite. On the flip side, Philly's sitting at 15-21 and trying to find some rhythm, especially with Joel Embiid's status up in the air. If he's out again, it's going to be a tough hill to climb for the Sixers. Orlando just battled it out with Milwaukee and, despite losing 109-106, they showed why they're a problem for any team. Giannis dropped 41, Dame added 29, and yet the Magic hung tough. Paolo Banchero's return was huge, 34 points, and didn't even look rusty. It's like he came back from injury with a chip on his shoulder, ready to remind everyone he's the real deal. The Magic are also getting solid contributions across the board. Goga Bitadze is cleaning up the glass, and rookie Tristan da Silva just had a breakout game with 25 points against Toronto. Add Kentavious Caldwell-Pope finding his stroke from deep, and suddenly Orlando's offense has some bite to go with their suffocating defense. As for Philly, they're coming off a tough loss to New Orleans, 123-115, where they couldn't close it out despite Tyrese Maxey doing his thing. Maxey's been the bright spot, averaging 25.7 points and carrying a lot of the offensive load. He's got that burst to get to the rim and a smooth jumper, but he needs help. Paul George has had his moments, but without Embiid in the lineup, it feels like the Sixers just don't have that edge. If Embiid suits up, it's a different story. His presence in the paint changes everything, but even then, you've got to wonder if it'll be enough against this Orlando squad. This matchup is all about styles clashing. The Magic are going to lean on their defense to slow things down, frustrate Maxey, and force Philly's secondary guys to beat them. On the other hand, the Sixers need to find a way to crack Orlando's defense, and that starts with hitting shots. They shot 46% from the field and 37% from three against the Pelicans, which is solid, but they'll need more than that against the Magic's stifling pressure. If you ask me, this game's got grinded out written all over it. With both teams dealing with injuries and Orlando's defense likely dictating the tempo, it's hard to see this turning into a shootout. I'm rolling with the total points to stay under 208.5. The Magic have the tools to make life miserable for the Sixers, and while Philly can put up points when they're clicking, I just don't see them getting into a rhythm against this Orlando defense. This one's going to be a slugfest, not a track meet.